Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, really interesting. All right, so as Aubrey said, hit the follow button for the next part of this 2-part series. Aubrey, have a good day.
You too. See you next time.
All right, bye. Thanks for listening to All Ears English. Would you like to know your English level? Take our 2-minute quiz. Go to allearsenglish.com/fluency score. And if you believe in connection, not perfection, then hit subscribe now to make sure you don't miss anything. See you next time. This is the All Ears English podcast. Not gonna lie, this episode will keep you honest. Welcome to the All Ears English podcast. Downloaded more than 200 million times. Are you feeling stuck with your English? We'll show you how to become fearless and fluent by focusing on connection, not perfection. With your American hosts, Lindsay McMahon, the English adventurer, and Michelle Kaplan, the New York radio girl, coming to you from Colorado and New York City, USA. To get real-time transcripts right on your phone and create your personalized vocabulary list, try the All Ears English app for iOS and Android. Start your 7-day free trial at allearsenglish.com/app. Lying is a huge part of our culture. In movies, in news stories, and sometimes in our daily lives. But how can we talk about it in a way that is more creative and interesting? Find out today. Hey Michelle, how's it going? Don't lie to me. Tell me how you're really doing. I'm really doing. Oh, I'm a little tired today. Normally Dan gets up a little bit earlier with the kids, and today he kept on saying 10 more minutes, 10 more minutes, and I was like, no, the truth comes out. Truth comes out. So now, so I'm a little tired, but I'm always happy to record. I feel like our recording is kind of a natural cup of coffee. It really is. It really is. It's the best. Yeah. Yeah. So, Lindsay, though, have you ever caught someone in a lie? Oh, politicians. I catch them in lies all the time, Michelle. But someone in my life, maybe a family member or something over something, but usually you can kind of dig in and understand what happened, right? What was going on there? Yeah, what were the dynamics? Sometimes, I feel like you can catch someone in a fib, which is maybe a lie, but I think that I catch I'm sure I've caught my brother in little fibs about how far away he really is.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Oh, I'm here. You're not really there, are you?
No, that I don't understand when people kind of lie about like how soon they'll be there, because they're gonna eventually end up arriving late. It makes no sense. This is the lie that will always be caught.
Right, exactly. So, guys, today we're gonna talk about expressions dealing with the word lie. Okay, and it came from an episode idea that I thought of about, well, it's the first expression that we're really gonna teach.
Yes.
So, I wanted to do something on that, and then this whole idea about lies came out. So, we're gonna get into it in a second, but guys, we want to remind you to hit follow wherever you are listening to the All Ears English podcast.
Hit that follow button. And Michelle, we have a poll to share today from Spotify. Remember, guys, you can only participate in these polls if you're listening over in Spotify. So maybe go over to Spotify and check it out. Make your voice heard on the show. What did we ask? What episode was this from? And
this was fun. This was from episode 2435, and it was, "This is an awesome episode. Take our word for it."
Yes.
And Lindsay, what was the question?
Yeah, the question was, how do you feel about long flights? Now, we actually had an interesting, pretty even breakdown.
Yeah.
Here.
This is interesting.
Yeah. But I can understand that because everyone sees the world a little differently. Like, some people might answer that and say, well, a long flight means I'm going somewhere far away, which is exciting. You know? Other people might just focus on the fact that I'm sitting in a plane seat with possibly an annoying neighbor for 12 hours, right? So what were the results?
All right, so the options were love them, hate them, or indifferent.
Yes.
So love them was 35% of the people who've answered, and hate them was also 35%.
Wow.
And then indifferent was 29%, or I guess 30%.
Okay. We have some world travelers.
Pretty even.
Yeah, we have some world travelers in our audience here, and it kind of makes sense. We all see the world differently. You know, we all focus on different things. That's the cool part, right?
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get into it. So the first one, which inspired this episode, is, do you ever hear people say, "Not gonna lie"?
Oh,
blah,
yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Oh, for sure. For sure. All the time. It's just kind of slang. It sounds a little bit younger.
Yeah.
It's casual. Yeah. It's trendy right now. It's been trendy for a long time. That's one of the ones.
Long time.
I think since I was in college or something.
Yeah. Right. That's what again, sometimes when we say something sounds a little younger, is it younger or is it from when we were younger? Because the young people today are saying something totally different.
Yeah, they're probably not saying that. I know that's true. It's what it is. It's stuck around with millennials and Gen X,
right?
Since the 90s, let's say that much.
Right, exactly. So people say this. I mean, I wouldn't say this sounds super formal. I think it's very, very, very casual. But pretty common. So somebody might just say something simple like, not gonna lie, these french fries are the best I've ever had.
Hey, you're just telling the truth, right? Not gonna lie, I skipped the gym this morning. Okay.
Or, not gonna lie, do you think you should consider applying to that job? So even if you're introducing an idea, maybe that's, a little touchy, right? And it doesn't have to be about a huge thing. I mean, not gonna lie, that this dress is not fitting me very well.
Yeah, I mean, basically what you're saying is I'm going to be honest here. Yeah. Right? I'm going to be totally upfront with you and tell the truth. Yeah. Yes, tell the truth.
Yeah, so that's a fun one. Lindsay, do you say it or do you kind of feel that it's a little too...
Sure, I say this sometimes. No, I do. Yeah. Absolutely still. When occasionally when I feel like I need to be upfront, I do think, we've talked on this show before as a connection skill. We need a way to warm someone up when we're about to be very upfront and direct, right? In American English, we do. And so this is one of the ways we do it. So I still find this useful. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Definitely.
Yeah.
So the next one is, I believe, this is how I opened the episode. I asked you, have you ever caught someone in a lie? Right. So what does that mean? To catch someone in a lie.
A lie just means you notice that they're lying. You realize that they've lied or are lying about something. It could be you realize it after. That would still qualify for I caught them in a lie. It doesn't have to be in that moment, but sometimes it is in that moment. There's a lot. I feel like you always read some pseudoscience about how people will move their eyes to the corners, like right, left when they're lying, or with lie detectors, right? I'm not sure whether those work or not, but your pulse increases, all these things that pseudoscience says we can tell if someone's lying, right? Who knows if it's true?
Who knows? But so you might say she caught her boyfriend in a lie when he said he wasn't proposing for another month. She found the ring.
Ooh. Or if I catch you in a lie, I'll never trust you again. Yeah, that's really hard, when someone lies early on in a relationship, how do you trust them again? It's a good question, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's very hard. It can either never happen or it can take a very long time, like a lot of healing needs to happen.
Absolutely. All right. There's other ways that we say this, or other things we can say related to lie. These don't all mean the same thing, just to make it clear, guys.
Yes.
Just different expressions having to do with lying, because it's definitely, I guess many people have the value not to lie. Not everyone has the value, right? Values aren't always universal, but many people do.
Yeah.
Yeah, lie through your teeth. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about this.
Yeah, this is a lying in a big way, baby. Just a big lie. So you could say, I think she was lying through her teeth. There's no way she met Beyonce.
Yeah. Or, oh, come on, you're lying through your teeth. I saw you drop that on the floor. So it's a way of like calling someone out. I see that you're lying. You're saying this ridiculous thing, but you're actually lying, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I wanted to point out something about the word lie and lying. Are they spelled in the same way? How do you spell lying?
Good question. Did you research? This one's hard. So this is, as a native speaker of English and even a teacher of English, this is one that I research sometimes before I write it in a text message. But we see, based on our prep today, that the verb is lie, and the ing form, the progressive form, is lying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That can be a tricky one.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. So, and the next one is to lie to someone's face. So,
yeah.
Just how it sounds. I mean, you lie right in front of someone.
Right. As opposed to, there are other ways of lying, which would be maybe starting rumors where you're not talking directly to someone. That's what this expression is highlighting. You stood there, you said a lie right in front of me. The presumption is that takes more guts, or is more jarring for people, more hurtful, potentially. Right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So he lied to my face and told me he didn't eat the last cookie, but I knew he did.
Oh. Or, please don't lie to my face. I know what happened. Ooh, sounds like a heated domestic argument.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
And then this one I love. Okay. This is the last one we're gonna do. Lie by omission.
Yes. Yeah, this is interesting, right? Because a lie is not always what we say. Sometimes it's what we don't say. Right?
Mm-hmm. Right. So you just leave something out, an omission. Right? That's a good word to learn. Yes. So yeah, you're leaving something out. Like, for example, if your friend asks you how she looks, face and you tell her you love her earrings, right? And you don't think she looks good, but you're leaving that out by giving her a compliment about something else, right?
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah, exactly. I love that. You could say something like, it wasn't a lie, maybe a lie by omission. Yeah. Which one's your favorite here, Michelle? What do you use in your real life?
Okay, I think my favorite is lie by omission, because that to me is the most interesting. What do I use most in my life? I mean, I guess maybe I would say lie to someone's face.
Yeah. I mean, luckily I don't feel like I'm around a lot of lying.
Yes, exactly.
We're grateful
That's a
for
good
that.
part. I don't have to use these that much, but if I'm watching TV, I might say, "Oh, he's lying to her face," or right.
Totally. I mentioned before the new series that I've been watching, Younger, about a 40-year-old woman who couldn't get a job in publishing at 40 in New York. There's some ageism happening there for sure. So she decided just to lie and say she's 26. She got the job right away and is still working at the place. But now people are finding out, right, gradually over time. And then they're struggling, dealing with how they feel about her because she's been lying. Literally, I mean, it's jarring when someone tells you they're 26 and they're actually 40. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I mean, she has a kid.
I mean, it seems like, oh, why would that be that big of a deal? But when you get to know somebody and to find out something is just not true about them. And then you think about like the ageism, especially for women, the challenges of someone getting a job. It's complex, actually. Really interesting. Shall we break this down into a role play? Because our listeners love role plays. Break it down. Here we go. We are sisters at a hotel.
All right. Here we go.
All right. Wow, I can't believe they lied to my face at the front desk and said breakfast is free when it's not.
Well, the basic breakfast is free, just not upgrades. So it was a lie by omission.
The worst kind. Not gonna lie, this place is giving me a bad impression.
I get it. We caught them in a lie. Oh, I don't like when hotels mess with my breakfast. Don't mess with my breakfast.
Don't mess with Lindsay's breakfast. On today's episode of All Ears English, we learn.
Yep, I'm definitely like one of those people. I need to eat in the morning. I can't do like just a piece of bread. I don't get how that works because I am like ready to pass out by 10 a.m. if I do that. So I eat a pretty big breakfast. Yeah. Anyway, so all right, let's go through this. So we said here, you said, wow, I can't believe they lied to my face at the front desk. Yes.
Ooh. And then you said, well, the basic breakfast is free, just not the upgrades. So it was a lie by omission. So they left something out.
Yes, excellent. And then you said the worst kind. So you feel passionate about that. Not gonna lie, this place is giving me a bad impression. Yeah.
Yes. And then you said, I get it. We caught them in a lie. So we're not going to necessarily say lie over and over like this. This is one of those situations. But, I mean, there are different expressions. So,
yeah,
could happen.
Sure, absolutely. What's the takeaway today, Michelle? Why does this matter for connection?
Yeah, well, hopefully you're not lying, and hopefully no one is lying to you.
Yeah.
But there are even other ways to use these, and that don't, if you're not being lied to all the time, things like not gonna lie, that's really useful. Lie by omission is really useful. They're all useful. Hopefully you don't need to use.
Yeah. And I would also just say that lying is such a big part of like our movies, media, culture, stories we hear about on the news. It's just everywhere around us, unfortunately. And so having these phrases when you talk about what you've read in the news, what movie you saw, what TV show you're watching, that's a connection skill right there. Not just to say, he lied. Don't just say that. Say something more creative, right?
Right.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good point there. Yeah, I'm glad we talked about this today, guys. Tell the truth, and I'm sure, we should definitely do a follow-up episode at some point soon. Guys, hit follow. I'm sure we'll do one about truth.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do the other side.
Yeah, the other side of the coin, right? The other side of life. I love it. All right, good stuff, Michelle. Looking forward to that one, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye, Lindsay. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks for listening to All Ears English. Would you like to know your English level? Take our 2-minute quiz. Go to allearsenglish.com/fluency score. And if you believe in connection, not perfection, then hit subscribe now to make sure you don't miss anything. See you next time. This is an All Ears English podcast, episode 2465. One word to describe your rare taste in English. Welcome to the All Ears English podcast, downloaded more than 200 million times. Are you feeling stuck with your English? We'll show you how to become fearless and fluent by focusing on connection, not perfection. With your American hosts, Lindsay McMahon, the English adventurer, and Michelle Kaplan, the New York radio girl, coming to you from Colorado and New York City, USA. To get real-time transcripts right on your phone and create your personalized vocabulary list, try the All Ears English app for iOS and Android. Start your 7-day free trial at allearsenglish.com/app.
Do you have obscure taste in something? Maybe you like unusual books or movies that no one knows about. Today, find out how to talk about your obscure taste in your conversations.
Hey Michelle, how's it going today?
Good, Lindsay. How are you?
Good, I have a question for you. You ready?
Okay.
So do you have obscure taste in things?
Ooh. I guess in some things, of course. I think everybody has some obscure taste, right? Like, I don't think that everybody likes everything completely mainstream. What do you think? But I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
I know. I guess, yeah. I mean, I think when I think of, to answer that question, I think about like something like I really like matcha tea, like Japanese matcha, and I think a lot of people don't like that. That's maybe what I would say. Like random things that I've tried when I've traveled that are not mainstream, they're not Doritos, right? You know what I mean? In our culture. So whatever's obscure, it's just a matter of whatever is common in the culture, right?
Right.
So obscure taste, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So today we're going to answer a listener question about the word obscure. This is a really good one. This is very high level.
Yes.
This word, in my opinion. This question comes to us from YouTube. So guys, you can also submit your questions on there, and we are on YouTube, so go ahead and watch us if that's the way that you prefer to consume the podcast.
Yes.
But this question is from Ardalan Bookart 24, and this listener says, can you talk about all the meanings of obscure in different situations? So, really direct, really good question.
We love good, direct questions. Is this a common word, Michelle? I mean, do we hear this a lot? Do we use this in English?
I mean, I wouldn't say that it comes up every day, but I also wouldn't say that it's obscure.
So the word obscure is obscure? You wouldn't say
it's obscure? Now it's going to lose all meaning. Right, yes. That's funny. But I do think it's, it's fairly common. I think it sounds kind of hip, kind of cool, kind of high level. What do you think?
Yeah, I see what you're saying there. I think you're right. I think it's it would be a great IELTS, band 9 vocabulary word for sure. Because the whole point on IELTS is using different words than everyone else is using. So you don't get pulled down to the 6 like everyone else, right? Yeah, I do. I agree. I think it's kind of rare. but we also know it. So if you use it with a native speaker, they're not going to look at you like you have 5 heads.
No.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
And to make sure we don't look at you like you have 5 heads, please hit the follow button, because I don't understand why you want it. Right? Maybe.
Yes. That's it, Michelle. You got it. Why wouldn't you be following all ears English if you believe in connection, not perfection, right? That's our whole thing. So go ahead and hit follow if that's how you want to learn based on human connection.
Exactly. Alright, so let's get into this word. So, what does obscure mean?
Basically, it can mean that something is not well known. It might be unusual. It might be hard to comprehend. You might hear the term obscure reference, Michelle.
Yeah,
we hear that sometimes, right?
I feel like that I hear that a lot with the word obscure. And well, that was an obscure reference. I'm proud of myself for understanding it, right? Somebody might make a reference. I mean, I'm always throwing out something from Friends, or it could be from anything. It could be a random 90s reference, and if somebody understands it, they could say, oh, well, that was obscure, right?
Yeah. Often you hear people in the dating world saying, oh, I found my match. This person gets me because maybe this person uses very obscure references, and their date does too, and they feel like they've met their match because, that kind of thing. Right.
You identify with that person's taste, and you get them. What's another example of this word?
You could say this. You could say their teachers' lesson plans were pretty obscure, so the students began to complain. Oh, that's not good.
So maybe they were hard to get. It was a little strange. I mean, I feel like I don't hear it as much in this way, but it can be used.
Yeah. I mean, kind of the negative way of labeling something, instead of using the word obscure, people would just say weird. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But weird has like kind of a negative connotation to it, right? Yeah.
Or you could say, some people say my taste in music is obscure. I take that as a compliment, right?
Yes.
So, exactly. You could kind of put the word weird in there. It's the same idea, right?
But it's much better if you're trying to build a connection to say, oh, these are some really obscure references you're making, instead of these are weird things you're saying.
Right. Weird could, well, it's funny because some people take weird as a compliment. I mean, there's always, we've talked about this, like, keep Austin weird and things like that.
Cool. Weird is cool. Yeah.
Right. But still, if you say that was a weird reference and you don't know the person that well, it could sound more, it sounds a little bit more offensive than obscure, which just kind of means unusual, not putting a judgment on it.
Totally. 100% agree. Here's another example. We found this obscure book in this old bookshop, so that's what I'm reading now.
Yeah. So, obscure book? Yeah, exactly. I mean, Lindsay, is there, something that you like that some may say is obscure?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like, I really like Japanese matcha. Or even, what is it, mate? It's the Argentine tradition of sipping mate in a certain, like that kind. It's another kind of tea. Have you ever heard of it? It's very obscure, Michelle. It's very obscure.
Very obscure.
Yeah.
But that's a perfect example, right?
Yeah.
Have you heard of it? Oh, it's kind of right. I mean, again, it may not. It goes back to what you were saying about the culture, right? It could be obscure one place and not in another.
Right. If you live in Argentina or Uruguay or maybe Brazil, it's not obscure to you at all. But in the U.S., it's kind of obscure. The mate. The mate tradition. Yeah, I would say so.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, Michelle, well, what about you? You didn't tell me. Are there any things that you're into?
I was hoping
that are
you wouldn't ask because I was.
You got something. You got something. I know it.
I mean, I'm sure I do. This is a really good question. Oh my gosh, this is gonna bother me.
Keep thinking
I'm gonna
about
keep
it
on
throughout
thinking.
the episode. Yeah,
but I do want to bring up another way the obscure can be used. Another definition, and this can mean to block something, right? You can't see it actually. So you could say the car obscured his line of sight, so he honked his horn. So that's a totally different one.
Interesting. Yeah, that's totally different, but is it really even related to the other meaning? Something that is more rare? I guess I can see the link.
You can kind of link it. I guess you can kind of link it, but on the surface, not. It sounds totally different, but if you want to try and make a link, you could, you know?
Yeah, you could. So I hinted that weird would be another way to say this, but there are a few other things you could say. Right? Unusual. Unusual is like a politically correct thing to say.
Unusual. So my taste can be a little unusual. So not everyone understands me.
Yeah, that's the politically correct form of weird, right? Instead of saying weird, it's politically correct to say unusual.
Yeah.
Vague. I like vague. The way you present your opinion is pretty vague. I'm a little unclear on what you mean. Yeah, I can see how these are interrelated. They don't mean exactly the same thing, but they're interrelated for sure.
Right. And vague is more the idea of being unclear rather than rare. But rare. Yeah, again, you can can really link everything together if you try.
Actually, and the other one would be rare, right? Rare, right, for the first definition. It's such a rare kinds of wine that you're into. How did you learn about them, right?
Yeah. Exactly. And then, of course, there's the second way, I guess we kind of talked about three ways, actually, but the other way about blocking something, right? So you could just say block, right? The sun was blocked by the clouds.
Yes.
Or what's the other one you could use?
The hat obscured his mask.
I meant masked.
To mask as a verb, right? So this is the second definition we talked about, guys, meaning something covers or makes something hard to see, right? To obscure. So again, the hat masked his face, so the teacher asked him to remove it. It's really hard to say the word masked, because I end up replacing the K with a T. The hat masked his face, because it's really hard to say masked. Masked his
You
face.
just gotta work on it, Lindsay.
John Milton or something. Yeah.
These are really useful words, all of them. And so let's do a role play. We're not going to use every single one, but we'll use most of them. In this role play, you are driving me to our book club.
Oh, we have a book club. Fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. All right. So I'm excited for tonight. They are getting wine and cheese.
That's good. Did you even read the book?
Oh no, it was so obscure. I didn't really like it.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Do you need sunglasses?
Yes, please. The sun is super bright. It's blocking my vision.
Here. Yeah, I found some of the chapters of the book were kind of vague.
Yeah, and this is very typical in conversation, and this is what I want our listeners to be ready to do, and I'm sure they do this in their languages, which is move in and out of topics, right? We're talking about the book and how obscure it is, and then you're blocked with your vision, and you're getting sunglasses, so it's important to be able to do this, weave in and out of ideas and come back to them, pick them up seamlessly.
Right, that's the thing, is that happens when you're driving. Do you ever, when you're driving, you get the sun in your eyes and you just need to take a second? I mean, there's always these little adjustments we're making. Oh, my bag fell. This, it's some sort of physical adjustment a lot of the times that we're making. We need to just take 1 second and then jump right back into the conversation like nothing ever happened. So that's a real skill.
Yeah, I think in the car situation, anything physical is a good example, but some people talk like this, even just if you're sitting talking to someone in a coffee shop, they'll run 3 topics in parallel, right?
Yeah.
It happens, and we want to be able to keep up and connect, right?
Yeah.
We should come back to that topic another time, Michelle. Guys, hit the follow button and and we will try to address that. I have a feeling that's a pain point for some of our listeners, right?
Yeah, for sure. So, guys, also check out episode 2457 was Can You Relate? How to Speak Up with Confidence in a Meeting.
All right. So today, guys, for the takeaway, we've gotten a lot of interesting ways, especially the word obscure, but then we had some other ideas to talk about maybe your interest and the things you like being different, being interesting. So throw that in to build the connections, and we'll come back to the parallel topics idea another time. Yeah.
Love it. All right, Lindsay, this was fun. Thank you to our listener for this question, and keep them coming.
All right, Michelle, talk soon. Bye.
All right, bye.
Thanks for listening to All Ears English. Would you like to know your English level? Take our 2-minute quiz. Go to allearsenglish.com/fluency score. And if you believe in connection, not perfection, then hit subscribe now to make sure you don't miss anything. See you next time.
This is an All Ears English podcast, episode 2464. Build a better English conversation with this bridge.
Welcome to the All Ears English podcast, downloaded more than 200 million times. Are you feeling stuck with your English? We'll show you how to become fearless and fluent by focusing on connection, not perfection. With your American hosts, Lindsay McMahon, the English adventurer, and Michelle Kaplan, the New York radio girl, coming to you from Colorado and New York City, USA. And to get your transcripts delivered by email every week, go to allearsenglish.com/subscribe. We all know that the weather is a great small talk topic to get started, but don't get stuck there. Today, find out how to bridge from the weather into the rest of the conversation for a better connection in English. Hey, Michelle, how are you?
Hey, good, Lindsay. How's the weather today?
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's been pretty hot this week, to be honest. I was down in southern Colorado and it was steaming hot. The sun was just incredible. So yeah, what about in New York? How's the weather there?
Also very hot. Well, the whole East Coast is very hot, but I don't know what to say now.
Yeah, what do you say now, right?
I want to talk to you more, but I don't know how.
Yeah, we're just getting started started with our conversation, but we can't let it die at this point because weather was the low-hanging fruit, right, Michelle? But where do we go from here?
So, yeah, we're going to talk about how to transition from the weather to not necessarily a deeper topic, but just to keep it going. How to not just drop it. Oh, the weather's bad. Oh, okay, bye.
It's funny. And I'm so glad we're talking about this today because I feel like I've gotten into situations where, okay, it started with the weather. Maybe it's someone I didn't know well. Started with the weather, but then you knew there was the moment it should have transitioned, but it didn't. And so half an hour later, you're still talking about
awkward. Oh, you're saying that's so
went wrong.
funny.
Something went wrong. Maybe not half an hour later, 10 minutes later, you're still, and you're both bored to tears. Right? Because it's in a previous episode, which we'll let our listeners know about that one, we talked about more interesting and relevant ways to talk about weather, but in the end, weather's kind of boring to talk about, right?
Yeah. Okay. We'll share more, but first we want to let you guys know that we have this great app for all ears English. It's on Android and iOS. And Lindsay, there are so many amazing things on this app. I mean, listening to the episodes, but not just listening, right?
Yeah.
Not just listening and not having anything else to do, right?
So it's going deeper with the show. So we know our listeners love all ears English, but what if you want to actually remember the words, the vocabulary you're learning on this show, the idioms, the phrasal verbs? The app gives you a way to do that because you see the transcripts, but then we select 5 to 7 key vocabulary words that will bring your level up higher. You can tap those, you can save them into your special list, so you can create a list that you could review every day before you listen to the next episode. Add more words to your list. All right?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yes. Exactly. So allearsenglish.com/app.
Yes. Excellent. All right.
So, yeah, we did an episode about how to quickly just start that conversation about the weather. So it's usually a brief conversation about the weather and how it can connect you. And we're going to share that episode with you towards the end so you know which one to listen to. That's the pair to this one. This is a great pair because it gives you the start of the conversation. So we're going to get into it. So my goal here with this episode is to give you kind of a bridge, right? You're kind of luring someone into a deeper conversation. It's a little bit more subtle, casual, cool. It's hard to go from talking about the weather to then tell me about your last relationship, right? It's not. It doesn't just happen to that like that. There is kind of this, a flow to how things happen. So you don't necessarily get away from the weather immediately, but you're kind of giving hints and clues and different ways that more could potentially naturally start to come out of the conversation. So I mean, so we're gonna get into it right now. So one of the first things is more direct. I mean, you can say, like, let's say you already know this person, and you make a comment on the weather, you could say, oh, so how have you been? Right?
Yeah.
And I think that's fine too.
I think that's fine. I think you can be more direct when maybe you know the person a little better.
Exactly.
Right?
You're not
like
gonna
you're
say,
saying.
so how you've been to a stranger.
Oh, yeah. Or even like a business contact or someone you are just getting to know a bit, right? So it's a level of comfort comes with the directness. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So that's very basic. Another thing you could say is, I was going to X, but not sure if that's happening with this weather. Right? So you're sharing, you're bridging something. It starts to maybe show how you're interested. I mean, Lindsay, what would an example be?
Well, you could say, I would typically say I was going to go hiking today, but not sure if that's happening with this weather. And I love this because what that's doing then is like you're throwing out options.
Something that you like.
Yes, and now that other person says, oh, are you a hiker? I like to hike too. Where's your favorite mountain? It could go in 1,000 different directions. But you're giving them something that's beyond just the shared situation of the weather. Right. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So, definitely it's a good way. I was hoping to go swimming today, or I was hoping to go to, I guess typically it would be something for outside, or it could be something for inside. You could be like, let's say it's a beautiful day. Do you ever have those days where you were gonna do something inside and then it's so nice and you feel, I can't waste this day?
I have friends like that who, I know one person who does it sometimes gets annoyed when it's so sunny because, maybe they prefer to stay in and read, and they don't feel guilty when it's raining and they stay in and read. So Colorado, it never really rains for a day, and they get annoyed because they think, I just want permission to stay in and read.
Right. I know. I get like that too. Especially the worst is towards the end of summer when like the nice weather is starting to run out. And, it's going to be getting colder and you're like, oh, but I just wanted to kind of relax inside today. So.
It's that's the thing. On the East Coast, I remember it was kind of like it was either a sunny day or a rainy day, and I could get into that mindset, and I would get so frustrated if it changed, because then you have to change your entire mindset for the day. But
anyway. Actually, literally just now, because My dad gets very nervous about the weather, and if it's going to rain, he's following on his phone every hour and what percentage chance of rain and what time it may or may not start, and those things, it's not always accurate. So even now we're supposed to go pick up my niece and watch her, but he's been nervous since last night about the rain, and if we'll be able to go because of the rain, and it's gonna storm, and anyway, so it's but
a roller coaster ride.
it is. It's true. I think, exactly. So, all right. The next thing is just I want to something.
Yes.
And this is another idea of sharing something about yourself. So, Lindsay, what's one thing? Well, what's one thing you might say?
Yeah, I mean, we could say something like, I want to take my dog for a walk in the park. Basic, right? If it's a beautiful day, I want to take my dog for a walk in the park. It's such a nice morning. The weather's so crisp. Right, so what are the things we do depending on the weather? I want to jump in the pool. Right, maybe you're talking about East Coast humidity. The humidity on the East Coast is incredible, right?
Out of control. Yeah, it's been up.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
So, but or let's say you might say, oh, I can't wait to, like, I want to go surfing. Right?
Yes.
Let's say I want to cool down and get a margarita, or I want to drink a hot chocolate to warm up if it's cold, right?
Or I want to go run in a sprinkler or something, right?
Right.
Or if it's raining, I want to hide away from this rain and curl up in a blanket, right? I want to curl up in a blanket or read a book. Yeah?
Yes, exactly. So, and then the next thing is you kind of saying, this is if you might know the person a little bit. So I hope you didn't have any plans to blank today. So I could say to you, Lindsay, like, I hope you didn't have any plans to be outside this weekend. I think it's supposed to rain the whole time. So that's very neutral. Be outside. I could say to you, because I know I could say, I hope you didn't have plans to hike, right? But if you could just say be outside if you don't know that much about the person.
Yeah, and that's a bridge, because then, so you might say, I hope you didn't have any plans to hike this weekend, because you know that about me. And then I might say, oh no, I think we'll see a movie. What are you up to this weekend? Right, and then we get into our plans for the weekend, which is another great topic, where we're maybe going a little bit deeper, right?
Exactly. So this is really good too.
All right, we have others, right, Michelle, to share with our listeners today. What would be another phrase?
Yes. So these are just some basic ones. So have you checked the forecast for the rest of the week? So sometimes people generally like to say, oh, I saw it's going to be like this until Saturday. It's going to be like, right? People love sharing the forecast, so you can ask them. if they know.
So it's not just the current weather situation. The strategy here that we're suggesting is extend into the future, right? Is this going to continue or is it going to stop? That's another bridge into hopefully another topic, right?
Right. Or this is more direct. I mean, this is great, and there's nothing wrong with this. Do you like this kind of weather, or does it bother you?
Yeah.
Right? Like, are you into? You could also say, are you into? Right?
Yeah.
Like, are you into the rainy weather, or
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Sure. You could say that. You could say, are you a rainy day kind of person? Right, Michelle? Are you a rainy day kind of person? Some people just are. Like I told you, the friend of mine that doesn't like it when...
Yeah, there are people like that. I don't know. I'm not one. Are you?
No. I like sun. I need sun in my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you could even just ask something basic like, are you gonna do whatever later? Are you gonna swim later? Are you gonna have some hot chocolate later? Are you gonna stay inside, right?
Yeah.
I guess these are maybe, if you know the person already, it's maybe a little awkward to be like, what are you doing later if you don't know the person?
Right, exactly. You know, Michelle, which of these do you like the best in terms of sparking conversation and starting to show a bit more of who you are?
I think I like the subtlety of saying something like, I was going to do something this weekend.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if that's happening with this weather. Because you can put anything in there. I like that. So, I mean, you could even say, like, oh, I was going to take a road trip this weekend. You can put so much of yourself out there. You could even say something like, oh, I'm supposed to go to a barbecue this weekend. You put a lot out there about yourself to subtly try and get that person into more of the conversation, right? So I would say that's kind of my favorite. What do you?
Yeah. I love that answer, Rochelle. I think that's great because we talk a lot on this show about how do we share things about ourselves without directly saying that thing. And that's kind of what you're doing here. Right. You're sharing, oh, I was going to take a road trip to Utah this weekend, but you're showing you like the American West, you like road trips, you like to be active probably, you're an outdoorsy person, you're saying so much about yourself.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but it's still kind of subtle, right? Because you don't want to say, I like road trips, I like to go, you know? People get bored by that.
Yes, exactly. So what I thought we could do now is, well, we can always check the time, but we're going to start off with one.
We're good.
Role play, and we're going to show how this might work. And where it could take you. And this is mixing in some of the things from the other episode. And again, I'll give you that episode at the end. So that is definitely, like, I can't imagine listening to this episode and not listening to the other one. It's
Can't imagine it. Can't imagine. And I just can't imagine not hitting follow on the show either.
I can't imagine.
All right, here we go. So so here we are acquaintances. We're waiting for our kids at school, and it is a heat wave. Probably an East Coast heat wave, too,
Yeah,
which is
probably.
very humid. Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right. Isn't it March?
I know. So hot.
Yeah, I want to jump in the pool.
Oh, same. I'll probably take the kids swimming after ice cream, of course.
Oh, they're gonna love that. Are they good swimmers?
Yeah, pretty good. I've been taking them for lessons for the past 2 months.
That's great. Where? I have to sign mine up.
Swimmers.
Oh, I've heard great things about them.
Yes, I love them. Nice, yes. Yeah. The weird thing is, you probably relate to this, Michelle. It's weird being in a landlocked state because you end up meeting people that never learned to swim. Like you, and, I grew up on the coast. Like you just learned to swim as a kid. That's just what you did, right?
Yeah. Of course, I'm not a great swimmer, but I know how.
You know how to swim. It's interesting.
Yeah.
So, all right. This was actually my favorite one. Is when you respond by saying what you want to do, because I think it also says a lot about you. It's like a visceral thing, right? You're just sharing on a really interesting level. So I like both of our answers. You like the subtlety. I like the directness of. I want to run in a sprinkler. You can show your inner child. You know what I mean? It's kind of cool.
Yeah. I want to get a popsicle. I want to get ice cream, right? Like, there's a lot there. Yeah, I forgot to ask which was your favorite one. I'm sorry.
That's okay. We got it right here. So again, that's what you said. You said, isn't it March? And another, that one might have come out of the other episode.
Yes.
Yeah, that did. So go listen to the other episode once you get the number, guys. And then I said, I know, so hot. What did you say, Michelle?
I said, I want to jump in the pool. And that really sparked it because we're waiting for our kids. So you're saying I'll take the kids swimming. So probably you have an indoor pool in March that you go to. And then you said after ice cream, of course. So now you're kind of throwing out more things. And then I ask, are they good swimmers? And we really get into this whole conversation. It worked well. I mean, listen, it doesn't always work. It does. It's not like, so you might say, I want to jump in the pool, and, Lindsay could have just said, right? It doesn't, not everybody is always open to talking. Maybe they're thinking about something else. Maybe they're busy. So, but these give you a good chance for sparking something.
Well, I think it's also a good way to find who your people are, right?
True.
I mean, if you said, I just want to jump in the pool, and, you're an adult, and it sort of shows an inner playfulness. And if I'm just like, okay, right, then we're probably not going to connect,
Right. You can tell.
This is a way to show who your people are, who you maybe want to have another conversation with, right? Really?
Yeah, love it. So let's do one more role play, okay, Lindsay?
Okay, I think we have a tiny bit of time, Michelle. We'll have to just do it real quick.
Okay.
Let's go for it. So here we are at work, and we are colleagues in the lunchroom. All right?
Okay.
We know each other, but we don't know each other very well. Okay.
All right, here we go. All right. Hey, Lindsay.
Hey, Michelle. What is this weather?
I don't know, but I don't like it. I hate all these storms.
Yeah, I hope you didn't have any plans to play softball with the work team this week.
Luckily, no, but have you checked the forecast for the rest of the week?
Yes, rain, rain, rain.
Yeah, but we have softball next week. Hopefully it's better by then.
I hope so. How's the season going so far? Nice.
Yeah.
We successfully bridged here, Michelle.
We did. Yes, we did it. So you did What Is This Weather, which is from the other episode, and then you said, I hope you didn't have any plans to play softball with the work team this week. So you're showing you know something about me, right? You're kind of picking on one of my interests you already know about.
Which is very powerful. You know, we hear it on the podcast, but once you see it being done in conversation, a very powerful connection skill. We've talked about it many times on the show. And then you said, luckily, no, but have you checked the forecast for the rest of the week? And that one's probably also from the other episode, not sure. But I said, yes, rain, rain, rain. Oh, it's from this episode. Never mind.
It's from this one.
Yes, you're right. So this is moving forward into the future, right? What's coming? That's that strategy. I love that.
Yes. Yeah. And eventually we bridge it into you asking about the softball season. So really useful and productive here. So guys, I know you've been waiting to hear what the other episode is. That was on episode 2448. That was weird and wonky weather in English. So check that one out. Very important to listen to these two together. Lindsay, takeaways for today.
Don't get stuck talking. Don't fail to build a bridge, right? Don't get stuck talking about the weather for 15 minutes. You'll both be bored to tears. But how do you do it? This is how you do it, Michelle. I love this concept of bridging into something more interesting from a low-hanging fruit topic, right?
Yes. Exactly. All right. Well, this has been a lot of fun. Let us know how it goes, guys. And yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing about your great conversation.
All right. Talk soon, Michelle. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to All Ears English. Would you like to know your English level? Take our 2-minute quiz. Go to allearsenglish.com/fluency score. And if you believe in connection, not perfection, then hit subscribe now to make sure you don't miss anything. See you next time. This is an All Ears English podcast, episode 2463. Like a moth to a flame, share your temptations in English. Welcome to the All Ears English podcast, downloaded more than 200 million times. Are you feeling stuck with your English? We'll show you how to become fearless and fluent by focusing on connection, not perfection. With your American hosts, Lindsay McMahon, the English adventurer, and Michelle Kaplan, the New York radio girl, coming to you from Colorado and New York City, USA. To get real-time transcripts right on your phone and create your personalized vocabulary list, try the All Ears English app for iOS and Android. Start your 7-day free trial at allearsenglish.com/app.
Is there something in your life you can't stay away from? You might be like a moth to a flame. Learn all about this expression on today's episode, plus hear about what Lindsay and Michelle can't resist in their daily lives.
Hey, Michelle, how's it going today?
Good, Lindsay. How are you?
Good, Michelle. I have a question for you. We're talking about food. Well, I have a food question for you first.
Yes.
What is a food that's impossible for you to resist?
Salty snacks.
Salty. Yeah.
I mean, I know everybody, if you've been listening to this podcast for a long time, you know I love French fries. I would say it's the popcorn, the chips, the fries, it's the stuff that's terrible for you. I can't, honestly, if I have it, sometimes I'll put it on a higher shelf.
Smart. Strategic. Yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't always work. I can still climb up there and get it. But I usually have to just avoid buying that kind of stuff. I mean, popcorn is okay, but chips, I can't have chips around. What about you? I feel like for you, if you pass an ice cream store, are you like a moth to a flame?
I am like a moth to a flame when it comes to ice cream stores, Michelle. I mean, I got ice cream on Sunday, yes.
Nice.
It was
what kind?
Really good. It was chocolate chip. So chocolate, really nice, rich chocolate with chocolate chips. These days, these days you have all these innovative flavors like lavender and all these things. And I think they've taken the place of the chocolate flavors. So I'm a little bit
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny is, sometimes, the other week I was in Philadelphia, actually, and I tried a really good, it was tahini chocolate, I think.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
Ooh, that was delicious. Chocolate chunk or something. So it was a little bit different, but really good. And then the thing is, a lot of times I might not order my own ice cream, but
Yeah.
I'll just plan to eat my kids' ice cream.
Yeah, sure.
So, but the thing is, they'll order sometimes, like my son, he's kind of reliable with flavors, but my daughter, she'll be like, I want rainbow, or just something like, just, I want pink,
Rainbow.
I want purple, and I'm like, come on, girl, like, just, I want
a real
you.
flavor.
Yeah, but I have to say, the other day she got ice cream and my mom picked it out with her, and it was kind of one of those stores that had different flavors, and she picked what I'm sure she thought of just as orange, and it was Thai iced tea. That was
good. Interesting. Thai iced tea ice cream. Oh, who doesn't? I know, it's so good.
Yeah,
so sweet.
that was delicious. So, but normally I'm like, don't get this, just no rainbow. No rainbow.
No birthday cake, no rainbow. Leave all that behind. Strawberry ice cream, worst flavor ever created, in my opinion.
Wait, really? I don't like strawberry ice cream at all.
No, not a fan.
Yeah, so she just gets excited about the colors. I want pink. I want pink.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, sorry guys, I got distracted, but you might have noticed we use this expression like a moth to a flame. I asked Lindsay if she's like a moth to a flame when she passes an ice cream store.
Yes.
So we're going to be talking about that expression today. That's a pretty common one. I hear that a lot. In kind of a fun, cute way. Just different kind of a way. So we're going to talk about that in just a second, but we want to remind you guys to hit the follow button wherever you are listening to All Ears English. Lindsay, why?
Oh my gosh, why? Good question. Guys, you don't want to miss a single episode of All Ears English. We're here for you 5 days a week, and every episode is new, fresh, and fun, based on your questions. Often, most of the episodes are based on your questions or things that we notice in our real lives speaking English. So go ahead and hit that follow button now. All right?
Absolutely. All right, so like a moth to a flame.
I know.
What does that mean to you? You said it makes you think of romantic movies or something.
No, yeah, the first thing that comes to my head is it's a first line of some famous song. I want to say Madonna or some singer from the 90s or the 80s. Like, it's really, really, really much burned in my brain. It is. I'll have to look it up.
I'm looking it up on ChatGPT. I want to see if I can find it.
Yeah.
But yeah, what does this expression mean?
Oh, yeah. It just means, if you think about, we know what moths do when there is light or when there's fire, I guess. They go towards it. They go towards light.
To it.
Right? They're attracted to it. So that's basically what it means. It's very clear, right, with the idiom.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's the worst. Do you get a lot of bugs in your area?
This year we didn't get the moths, which makes me a little worried about the environment. We normally get this Miller moth thing where they come like in June. In the month of June, we get tons of moths in our houses here in Colorado. They come in the house, they go all over the walls. And this year we just didn't get them. They just never appeared. So I don't know.
And it's like, oh, it's kind of nice, but it does make you wonder what's going on, right? I understand what you mean.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What about you? Do you get a lot of bugs in Jersey, in New York?
I'm sorry to say, I just killed a teeny tiny little worm. I don't know, it was so small. Anyway, yeah, I mean, our big thing in this area, although it's more now in Maryland now, is the spotted lanternflies. Do you get those?
No, we do not get those.
Well, those you're actually supposed to, they encourage you to kill them because they destroy trees. They're like, it's kind of a whole wide campaign to kill these things. They're actually kind of pretty. They have red on them, but when they smack, like they'll just like fly right into you. Gross.
Whoa!
So you'll just see tons of dead ones on the street. That's gross. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sure now that we've sufficiently grossed out our audience.
Yeah, I think in South Korea, I was reading they had a huge infestation of some kind of moth or fly or something, or dragonfly, where they were just they were shoveling them.
God.
From the streets. Yeah, for any of our listeners from South Korea, feel free to chime in and let us know what happened there.
Yeah, so with moths, mosquitoes, they're attracted to the light. So it's like they can't keep away, and I find it's worse in the summer when you're outside, or even if you open your door for a minute and it's dark outside, they're all gonna come in, right?
Yes.
But we're not actually using it. This expression, we're not using it about bugs when we actually use this expression. It's more in a figurative way, Lindsay. So what does it mean when we use it to not talk about the bugs?
Yeah, not talking about bugs, moving on from bugs, thank goodness. Yeah, I mean, we use it when we want to say that someone can't stay away from someone or from something. So for example, with ice cream, I could say, I can't stay away from ice cream shops when I walk past them. Seriously, it's like a moth to a flame. Or I'm like a moth to a flame.
Or you could say, I'm like a moth to a flame. Right.
Yes.
You could say that as well.
Yes.
So exactly, you can't stay away. I'm just imagining Lindsay passing an ice cream shop and
coming back and turn the car around. Yeah.
You're like,
definitely when I go on rural road trips and I pass an ice cream stand in the countryside, I'm like, oh, I need to go there.
But you can also use it to talk about people. So this is common with breakups. Do you ever have any friends who have, or yourself had a breakup that just takes so long? They keep on getting back together.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially in like younger days, 20s, college.
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. So you might say they broke up, but they keep getting back together. It's like a moth to a flame.
Exactly. Or maybe you love to travel. I think a lot of our listeners will resonate with this example. Maybe you have a favorite city in the world. You could say, I'm booking another trip to Paris for next year. It's my favorite place. With Paris, I feel like I'm a moth to a flame. Very dramatic. I would say it's a dramatic thing to say, don't you think? It's kind of like a theatrical, sort of dramatic thing to say, yeah?
Right. Right. It's different than just saying, oh, I really love Paris.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's different, but it's fun. You use it to be emphatic. It's a really fun one. I mean, Lindsay, I put ice cream on you.
Yeah.
What else? Is there anything you're like a moth to a flame for? Something fun or random.
Yeah, I mean, the traveling thing I can definitely, especially when I'm already traveling, the idea of booking a trip while I'm on a trip, I love that. You know what I mean? Once you get that taste of travel, but I think ice cream is actually a great example.
Okay, good. I know you.
Yeah.
For me, I was trying to think of some random things like the grocery stores. I have a hard time if I see a grocery store or a clothing store for my kids.
Oh, okay.
If I kind of like even like a big box store, right? Like a Marshalls or a TJ Maxx, and I just like
love those.
Can I find in there?
Yeah, people love the hunt, right? At those stores, the big box stores, the TJ Maxx, they love the hunt to see. You don't know if you're gonna leave with something good, but you might. Right?
Yeah, so it's funny because sometimes, I'll be the one to say, oh, I want to go to the grocery store.
Okay.
And I actually, when I travel, I love going to grocery stores and seeing the different things that they have. That's always so much fun for me.
I love that too. Yes, maybe coffee shops for me.
Coffee shops,
especially like fancy ones. I love them. I know. It's bad. I do.
No, I have the two. Yeah.
All right, Michelle, we're back. So, why do we think this is good for connection? What do you think?
Yeah.
What's the idea here?
Well, I think it shares a piece of you, or it lets you talk about someone's preferences or their habits. So it kind of, on one hand, if you're using it about yourself, you're sharing information about yourself. Or if you're commenting on something else, you're showing that you kind of know someone, you know something about them.
Yes.
So I mean, you could say, I might say, my son is like a moth to a flame when it comes to toy stores. So is my daughter.
Yeah,
right?
That makes sense. That makes sense, right? For kids, sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's this idea of. I mean, I almost had this visual in my head, not so much of the moth, but of somebody trying to walk past somewhere and, you know, kind of being pulled in. And I'm just going to go to one of another expression we're going to teach.
Yes, being pulled in, or this could build connection. I'm envisioning friends in a car, a bunch of friends in a car, and you go past a coffee shop, and that person is just like, hey, I need to make a quick stop. Will you drop me off at the coffee shop and pick me up around the other side? And the driver might say, oh, like a moth to a flame. She just loves her coffee, right? And she's saying that, you're saying that to the other person in the car. So it's like showing you know someone, I think. All right, Michelle. So what are some other ways to say the same thing?
Okay, well, you could say you can't resist something. So I can't resist an ice cold lemonade on a hot day.
Yes, I love that. Or can't stay away. Also very practical, right? Whenever I see a good sale at the mall, I can't stay away. Love that.
Exactly. Or I love this one when you describe someone as a magnet, or say people are like magnets, right? So you could say, my dog always sees his doggy friend at the park, and I swear they are like magnets. They love each other. It's so cute.
Yeah, that always happens to me too. I love that. I love watching that. Little dog friends. This is so cute.
They really do make friends, right?
They do. Oh, they absolutely do. All right, let's go into a role play, Michelle. So here we are friends going through the grocery store together. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, there's a sale on my favorite ice cream.
Oh, I can see. Look at you. You're like a moth to a flame when it comes to that ice cream.
Got it. My favorite flavor too. I can't resist it.
I get it. That's how I am with popcorn. I can't stay away.
I love popcorn too. My kids are like magnets to popcorn, really.
Yeah, so all these kinds of foods tempt us, right? And we can't stay away from them. I love that. So in this example, again, you are then buying the ice cream, right? You're the ice cream crazed person.
Yes.
So I say you're like a moth to a flame, right?
Yes. And then I said, my favorite flavor, I can't resist it.
And then I saw the popcorn, or I said that that's how I am with popcorn, right? I can't stay away. Right.
And then I said, my kids are like magnets to popcorn.
Yes, I love it. So this is really good for our listeners to show what they love, you know, whether it's food or maybe even like a kind of music or concerts, going to concerts. Traveling, whatever you love, you can use this to describe yourself, Okay?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So, guys, we also recommend that you listen to episode 2455. That was Should You Poke Fun at Someone's Niche Interests? Right? So, talking about interests or maybe things that they can't stay away from, whatever it may be.
Yes.
Check out that episode. Lindsay, what's our takeaway for today?
Yeah, I mean, we love episodes where you can say so much about something or someone or yourself by just saying one thing. And this is one of them, Michelle, right? Where we can really, in a more dramatic way, this is kind of a theatrical, dramatic expression. But depending on your personality, if it matches, go ahead and use it to say what you love in life. Life is about indulgences sometimes, right?
Yes, exactly. And we all have our indulgences, our things that we can't resist. It's definitely a good thing to share and a good way to connect with people over these things, because probably most people like ice cream, and so talk about, you couldn't get in a whole conversation with them.
It kind of brings down the barriers, and it, you know, no one's perfect. No one can resist all their temptations. And so if you can admit that, then it breaks down those walls. Okay?
Exactly. Love it. All right, Lindsay, thanks for chatting about this with me today. And I'm going to go get some ice cream.
Oh my gosh, me too, I know. It's early for ice cream, but I'll do it anyways. All right, Michelle, you have a good day. Take care.
All right, bye, you too.
Thanks for listening to All Ears English. Would you like to know your English level? Take our 2-minute quiz. Go to allearsenglish.com/fluency score. And if you believe in connection, not perfection, then hit subscribe now to make sure you don't miss anything. See you next time.
This is an All Ears English podcast, episode 2462. Intonation is connection.
Welcome to the All Ears English podcast, downloaded more than 200 million times. Are you feeling stuck with your English? We'll show you how to become fearless and fluent by focusing on connection, not perfection, with your American hosts, Lindsay McMahon, the English adventurer, and Michelle Kaplan, the New York radio girl, coming to you from Colorado and New York City, USA. And to get your transcripts delivered by email every week, go to allearsenglish.com/subscribe. You spend hours working on vocabulary and grammar, but there is a simple trick to better connection that is waiting for you. It's intonation. Listen in to find out how to train rhythm and intonation in your English today. Hey there, Michelle. What's going on today?
Not too much, Lindsay. I have a question.
Yeah.
When you speak another language, I know you speak other languages, do you change your intonation to match, what is typical for that language? Or is that hard for you too?
I do. I am kind of like, I mimic pretty well. I'm pretty naturally gifted at mimicking. So when I learn a language, I actually repeat the language in my head a lot, especially if I'm living in the culture. I'm always repeating things, and naturally the intonation comes with that. Now, there's a lot of work that could still be done to perfect that, to make it better and correct, but I do pick up on rhythms and intonations quickly. I do. It's just, I don't know, maybe it's a thing.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Your special power.
Yeah, it's my special power, which I have not exploited as much as I should, but oh well.
That's okay.
Yeah, we're here for our listeners today, right, Michelle?
Exactly. We got a really good, important listener question, and a very nice one as well. So thank you to this listener. We're going to read it in a second, but guys, we want to remind you, please hit the follow button wherever you are listening to All Ears English so that you don't miss anything from us. We do bonus episodes. It goes straight to your queue. You don't have to go looking for us. All good stuff. Easy.
Exactly. And if you happen to be watching this on YouTube, which is also a great way to consume All Ears English, if you're a more visual learner, you can do that. Hit the subscribe button. So wherever you are listening or watching, make sure you are subscribed or following the show. All right, Michelle. Now, we saw this come in and we were overjoyed because we love this kind of feedback. First of all, do you want to read the first paragraph and I'll read the second?
Sure. This is from Fairasalt Waity 6395, and I'm sorry for butchering your name. This name. I'm so sorry, but thank you for this. It says, I've been listening to All Ears English for over a year now, and it has truly made a big difference in my English learning journey. That's so great to hear.
That's so good. I love it.
The way Lindsay, Michelle, and Aubrey teach is fun, practical, and full of real life examples. I love how the episodes are not just about grammar. They focus on connection, culture, and confidence. Wow, this listener really picked up on exactly what we're trying to do, right? Exactly kind of our mission, right?
Yes, the 3 C's, connection, culture, and confidence. I love it. And here is the listener's question. I have one question for the All Ears English team. I'm trying to make my speaking tone sound more American. Do you have any tips or exercises on how to change or improve my sound my sound tone, my intonation, or my rhythm so I can sound more natural and confident when speaking English? Such a good question. That is the question, right, Michelle?
Super
That's it.
important. Yeah, we and we have discussed intonation in past episodes, but I want to definitely answer this listener's questions because this is not something that can be overstated, right?
Yeah.
We can pay too much attention to. This is very important. Intonation and rhythm are huge in American English. Lindsay, what do you think?
Yeah, I really think you're right, Michelle, especially when you get to the higher levels. So this summer we've been building Professional English Level 2, which will be coming out in September. I'm so excited. And in our curriculum development, the majority of what we're focusing on in terms of pronunciation points is actually intonation and delivery. It's no longer so much the sounds and pronouncing. You still have a little bit of that in the course, but as you get into the C1, B2 level and higher, it's about delivery and what are the words we're punching and stressing so people listen to us and frankly respect us. They hear us. It's one thing to be heard, it's another thing to be listened to.
I like that. That's very nice. So I mean, this listener wants to quote sound more American. I always think it's more about being able to be understood, not necessarily sound American. The goal is that you want to be understood, and you can do that even if you don't sound American. Don't you think, Lindsay?
I totally agree. I mean, you may have accent preferences. Personally, I love the Aussie accent. You know, if I were learning English, I'd want to sound Australian. Just because I think it sounds so cool. But so we all have our preferences, but what we want to be focusing on more so is, again, being clear, delivering so that people actually listen to us and so that they want to hear more from us. Right? We're seen as a leader.
Yeah, exactly. And a huge piece of that is that rhythm and that intonation, right? Because you can say something in English and not use rhythm and intonation, and not only is it just not as interesting to listen to, but sometimes it can actually impact the meaning. And because English is very rhythm dependent, and it's very important for how things sound. So it's not just about, let me show you my intonation, I'm so interesting, and it's not just that. We really have to think about all the layers and why this is important.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So we're going to give you, our listeners today, a couple of ideas, some methods, some activities we can do, right, Michelle? To actually, devote our time to developing that rhythm and intonation. Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing, and we've talked about this a bit before, is shadowing or imitation. Now, Lindsay, you mentioned you're a good mimic. So what kinds of things, I mean, is it just pretty much what you hear from people?
Yeah, it's
when
weird.
You talk to them, or how do you,
Yeah, it's like a weird mental quirk. So when I'm learning, like I said, it works better when I'm actually living or staying in the place. But even if I go to like a meetup, a Spanish meetup in Denver, in the hour or something after the meetup, I'll go home and on the train or my scooter scooting around Denver, and I'll be speaking Spanish in my head, and I will carry with that not just the words but the rhythm too, and I'll be narrating kind of, oh, there's a car over there. Right. And obviously you need a certain amount of vocabulary to start doing that. So that's not so much for the beginner level, what my method of speaking in your head. But we all have a dialogue going on in our heads. I think it's not just me, I hope. And why not make that in the target language?
Right.
Especially if we've just consumed something, from a native speaker, and we're gonna then mimic not just the words but the rhythm. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So, one thing, even if you are not living in the place, if you're not living in the culture, so you can listen to it, do this shadowing.
Yeah.
Right? So you can watch a TV show. I think a talk show is really great. Because then you're listening to more natural ways of speaking, or a podcast, of course. Anything with more natural conversation to me is better. Where maybe not like listen to a Shakespeare play. That might not. Think about who you want to sound like. What is it? If you want to do it for work, you can listen to YouTube job interviews. I mean, anything.
Yeah. For sure. And I think when you choose, let's say, a podcast, it's good. I think there are a lot of podcasts out there that are single hosted, which are great. You can spend some time with that single host.
Yeah.
But there is value, obviously, because our listeners are listening to All Ears English. They know there's value in listening to a co-hosted show.
Right.
There is something that happens in the back and forth, Michelle, that's really important. The way I wait for you, because I think you're going to interject something. These are the nuances of high-level conversation that eventually we're at the B2, C1, C2 levels. We're going to start to want to mimic that too. So depending on what your level is, choose the right material to mimic.
Exactly. Right? That's such a good point, Lindsay. Yeah. So when you're shadowing or imitating, you just let it play, and then you stop and you repeat it, or you repeat it right behind where the person is speaking. So as they're speaking, you are speaking too. Just like a second behind them. So that's a really good exercise to try, to really tune into the intonation as well. But another thing you could do is listen with a transcript. So to many different things, and circle points where intonation changes, right? So you're kind of doing a little case study, you're listening, and can you find some commonalities between different things you listen to? Does a talk show sound different than a movie? Does right? All those different things. So do a little bit of research.
Yeah, I love that. And, if this requires, as Michelle said, circling places where the intonation changes, we do provide the transcripts for All Ears English. So go to allearsenglish.com/subscribe. That will get you a weekly PDF of the transcripts of the entire week, all four episodes of the week. Not that Saturday, but we do the 4. You can get that delivered to your email inbox before the first episode goes live of the week. So allearsenglish.com/subscribe. That's one way to do it. And Michelle, should we also, as another method, record ourselves? At what point do we want to do this?
To me, I think that's great. I mean, record a conversation or a version of you reading some sort of passage. Listen back to it, analyze it, play it for someone, whatever, resources you have. Then repeat again and again and listen to your progress. I mean, yesterday this isn't the same thing, but I was looking up a drawing video on YouTube with my son for something to do. And he started it and he didn't like it and he didn't like how his was going. And he was making some mistakes. It was kind of a tutorial. And I just said, okay, let's get a new piece of paper and try it again. And even just the second one, he was so much better. And I know...
that's true.
Obviously, this is very intuitive. We say if at first you don't succeed, try again, right? But it is true. The second time is just different. Even when you exercise, right? First time you do an exercise, you might be totally winded. The second time already, it's a little better. So... Keep
100%.
Keep going for it.
Yes, you're right. You try again and again. I mean, even children, when they're learning a language at a very young age, they're mimicking their parents. They're trying again. They're trying many times, right?
Yeah.
It's so true. And recently, we've just added some really cool AI pronunciation scoring activities to some of our courses, Michelle. So that's another place we could try again. But not only can we try multiple times, we can get a score each time and try to improve our score. So this is currently inside our B2 course. It will be in the B1 course very soon, and it will probably be in professional level 2 when we launch it this fall. So check out our courses for that. Really cool.
Awesome.
Really cool.
Love it.
Yes. All right, Michelle, what else should we be doing here to make sure we're getting the right intonation?
Right. So, I think another good thing is to journal, right? So keep some sort of an intonation journal. Pay attention throughout the day. Or maybe you say, I always say to students, to pick 20 minutes a day where you're paying attention to this. But with intonation, I would almost say make it Intonation Wednesday or something like that. You know, you don't have to do it all the time, but find moments in the day or a day a week where you can really pay attention to that and then write, how did it go? Is there something that you felt worked or didn't work? And just kind of use it as a journal, right?
Yeah, Michelle, it sounds like you're inviting us to be more present, right? Which is always a gift.
Yeah.
Think about so many aspects of our lives could improve when we're just a little bit more present, right? We're not off in the dialogue in our head unless it's in the language, the target language, of course. But often I spend a lot of time just kind of spacing out. I don't know about you, but I do, and it's so bad.
For sure. Of course. I'm sorry, what? Now, where are we? No,
I just miss so much of life, and I think about how much better life would be if I paid more attention to things. And language is under that bucket too.
Yeah, definitely. So, and then, practice saying the same thing in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Choose an emotion to match what you're trying to express and change it up so you can kind of make it a little bit of a game. So, Lindsay, we're going to play a game.
Okay, let's do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we are going to say the same thing. So the neutral sentence is, I am going to my friend's house this weekend. Very basic, very neutral. Okay, Lindsay, why don't you choose a way to say it, and I can try to guess how you're feeling.
Okay. I'm going to my friend's house this weekend.
Very good. Doesn't sound like you're happy to do that. Sounds like you might be a little bit sad about it, or you're just not, maybe a little bit bored, right?
Not excited. Yep, exactly. Bored / sad / flat.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What about one more, Michelle? All
right, I'll do one more. Okay. I'm going to my friend's house this weekend.
I hear what's the word? A sense of there's frantic in your voice. Your voice is frantic.
Like a little rushed, right? So maybe you're gonna say, and then I have to do this, and then I have to do this.
Yeah, for sure. You are rushed. Absolutely. Time is of the essence, Michelle. So we say things in different ways. And so but I think the key point with all of these suggestions is our listeners, you all need to take control of your learning. Right? We're not necessarily going to school, sitting in classrooms anymore as adult learners. We need to create our own study plan, right? And in our courses, we give you that, but if you're listening to the podcast, you need to be creating your own study plan here.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
So now we're going to do 2 different role plays. One with no intonation.
Okay.
Initiation. One with no intonation and one with more intonation. And again, intonation can mean a variety of things, really. It's number one, it's your emotion, but it's also the rules of intonation and stress and rhythm, and that we've done other episodes about as well. So today we're just kind of focusing on this. The purpose of this exercise, we're focusing on monotonous versus not monotonous. So, Lindsay and I here in both of these role plays, we're talking about summer plans. Okay, so in this one, we're speaking in a monotone. Okay, all right. And so then I'm going to the beach. For how long? A week. Nice. Yeah, I'm excited. Okay, where is this bus? I'm nervous I'm going to be late. I don't know. It's really frustrating. Oh my gosh, I struggle doing monotone, Michelle. I can't do it. I know. Struggle. I tried. I think I failed. No, it's okay. But yeah, it's hard. I mean, you can't, really to say, yeah, I'm excited. Okay, where is this bus? I mean, it's hard to understand, right? It just doesn't, it feels the listener needs to work harder to actually understand what you're saying. It feels like one long string of words. It doesn't feel like a message, you know? Yes. Yeah. Right. Exactly. So it's not just about, maybe this person doesn't sound that excited. That's actually a choice. It's more just if it's that string and not doing variations, it can be hard to listen to or very uncomfortable, or like the listener has to work. But you don't want that, right? That can break the connection. That can break the connection if the listener has to work. Let's show it the same role play now with actual intonation, right? Okay, all right, here we go. And so then I'm going to the beach. For how long? A week. Nice. Yeah, I'm excited. Okay, where is this bus? I'm nervous I'm going to be late. I don't know. It's really frustrating. Yeah, so there's we might be a little exaggerated here, right, versus real life. Of course, we do exaggerate a little bit on this show, but to show you, right, as an example. I mean, this conversation had connection, it had life. I felt urgency in your voice, Michelle, because you were worried you were going to be late. It had emotion. It had the good stuff of life, right? Yes, exactly. So, yeah, we were basically talking about the beach. And so, let's go back to, we're not running through vocabulary here, but some highlights are, I said, yeah, I'm excited. And then I had this switch. Right? Yeah. Okay, where is the bus? I'm nervous. I'm going to be late. So I'm sharing I'm excited about the beach, but now I'm currently nervous. So I had to show that with my voice. And I had to mirror, and this is a connection point here, really important. I needed to mirror your maybe not mirror your anxiety, but mirror what you're frustrated about. So I punched I said, I don't know, it's really frustrating.
Okay, so then there's connection right there, just in the intonation. So intonation is connection, Michelle.
Yeah, for sure. I think that if you match somebody's intonation, you can just really up that connection quickly. I mean, even when you're excited, hey, how are you? Oh my gosh, I've got, but it's just, it's contagious, really, or it should be, how intonation is, right?
Yes, so incredibly important. We focus so much on grammar, vocabulary, but we forget that intonation, you can get so far in your connections with just intonation, mirroring how someone feels. Michelle, what's another episode our listeners should go to right away if they love our style?
All right, guys, head on over to episode 2457. A few episodes ago was Can You Relate? How to Speak Up with Confidence in a Meeting. So
I love it. So Michelle, we've given our listeners today a lot of good ways to practice. So one takeaway, guys, is you need to create your study plan here. Take this episode, create a plan. It's up to you to insert these activities in your lives. And then the next piece for me is intonation is connection. Like I said, that's what it is. If we don't have it, we don't connect. Huge.
Love it. All right. Thank you again to this listener for that great question. Such an important topic, and thank you for listening today. And Lindsay, this was fun talking with you.
Good stuff, Michelle. I'll talk to you soon. Have a good day.
All right, bye.
All right. Bye. Thanks for listening to All Ears English. Would you like to know your English level? Take our 2-minute quiz. Go to allearsenglish.com/fluency score. And if you believe in connection, not perfection, then hit subscribe now to make sure you don't miss anything. See you next time. This is an All Ears English podcast. How to dance around tricky past participles. Welcome to the All Ears English podcast, downloaded more than 200 million times. Are you feeling stuck with your English? We'll show you how to become fearless and fluent by focusing on connection, not perfection, with your American host, Aubrey Carter, the IELTS whiz, and Lindsay McMahon, the English adventurer. Coming to you from Arizona and Colorado, USA. And to get your transcripts delivered by email every week, go to allearsenglish.com/subscribe. There is a funny thing that native speakers do when they want to avoid using certain less common verbs in English. Find out what they do and how you can do this too. Hey there, Aubrey. How's it going today? How you feeling?
I'm great, Lindsay. How are you?
Good, good. It's really hot today here in Denver. It's 99 degrees out, I just saw.
Ooh,
So
that is hot. It's hot in Idaho too. I'm like trying to escape the Phoenix heat, and I think it's 95 here, so still quite warm. That's
pretty hot, yeah. Well, have you drunk a lot of water today because it's so warm out, Aubrey?
Oh, great question. I haven't drunk a lot of water. That question sounds a little weird to me. Does it sound weird to you?
It totally sounds weird. It totally sounds weird. Before I said it, I was like, is this right? Let me just double check in my head. Right?
Yes, right? Because we avoid saying the word drunk, even though that is correct grammar to say, have you drunk a lot of water? That's the past participle.
Yes.
We really avoid it everywhere. I feel like in the United States, you don't hear this a lot.
And even when I've taught this, you and I have both been teaching English for 20 plus years, every time I've had to teach this, I will go back and double check that the grammar's right. Right?
Because it feels strong, because we don't hear it very often. Totally.
Yes. Exactly. So this is what we're going to get into, this little funny thing that native speakers do, which is what, Aubrey? What exactly do they do when they feel weird about a past participle of a verb?
Yes, we have a few techniques we use to avoid them. We dance around these past participles, and we're going to teach you today what natives do that you can do too. If ever you're not sure about a past participle, there are a couple of little hacks you can use.
Yeah, this is a real art, and I know that we've taught the phrase dance around just, I think, this summer. We taught that on All Ears English, so I'm really excited about this because our listeners know what that means now. So what should our listeners do right now, Aubrey, before we go any further in the episode?
Yes, be sure to hit follow right here on the podcast. If you're not following it, you are missing bonus content. You're likely missing episodes. So wherever you listen to podcasts, open up your search bar, search All Ears English, and hit follow on the podcast.
All right, so if you want to ask this question, Aubrey, what would a native speaker more likely do rather than asking the question, have you drunk a lot of water today? What would we do instead?
Yeah, they would likely use the present perfect continuous, and they would say, have you been drinking a lot of water? So they would avoid that past participle, drunk, and they would use a different grammar tense entirely. And often this works. We talked about this a lot on the podcast, that often there are a few options for the grammar tense, right? Maybe depending, like, does time matter? If the exact time doesn't really matter, sometimes you have options.
Yeah, and it totally works here because we're still in that day, right? The day's going on. It makes complete grammatical sense. The other thing that I do, just as an asterisk in this kind of situation, is I just grab another verb, right? And that's not what we're talking about today, I don't think, but we could do another episode on that.
That's a great idea. Be sure to follow. I agree, right? You might say, are you staying hydrated?
Right? Good one too. Yeah. Sounds like a Mountain West question, right? Everyone in the Mountain West is always, hydration is really important. But, or even just saying, like, have you had a lot of water today? Just something really basic, but I know that the past participle of have is had. You don't have to worry about it. I feel comfortable, right?
Yes, that's what's fascinating, right? A lot of native speakers do this. We even do it, and we both have master's degrees in English, right? But because we don't hear it a lot, because everyone else is avoiding it, even though we know the correct grammar, we often will also dance around it. We often will also use a different verb tense. So you guys out there listening, you certainly can too.
That is so funny. How did you think of this topic today, Aubrey?
Yeah, this came up when Michelle and I recorded a podcast about the verb grind, past tense ground. Someone had written in asking about the past tense. They hear it as ground and grinded, and this is what we mentioned, like often we'll avoid this. Instead of using ground or grinded, we'll do this and say, I've been grinding herbs my whole life, if we're not positive about the past participle, because this is another one where natives use both past tense verbs, so you might go to say it and not be sure, and you can use one of these hacks. Change the verb tense.
Yes, I love it. We obviously have to make sure it works grammatically. Sometimes it changes the meaning of what we're saying, right? So but what does this look like? So the first tip that we're going to show our listeners today exactly how to do this, how to dance around the past participle. If you feel like you never hear it, it sounds weird, you think people might look at you like you're strange, if you use it correctly, what would you do? What's the first strategy?
Exactly, right? These are some pro tips. Your first strategy is that you could swap present perfect tense with present perfect continuous. So the difference here is, instead of having to have that past participle, instead you use been, B-E-N, and then verb ing. So that's easy. You have the base verb, add ing. You don't need to know the past participle.
Yeah, way easier. So instead of saying, I haven't drunk enough water today, and again, I don't hear, even people that are super educated and, well-read, they also might do this, use these strategies, right? This is not necessarily about education levels, okay?
Right. This is really the best example, because regardless of education levels, someone might either be trying to just avoid the word drunk, or because they never hear anyone else saying it that way, even though it's correct grammar, they're maybe trying to avoid sounding pretentious, and so they are just speaking the same way everyone else they know speaks.
Right, so then what would it sound like, again, one more time, Aubrey, if we use strategy 1?
Yeah, so instead of, I haven't drunk enough water today, you would say, I haven't been drinking enough water today. And they mean the same thing, like you said, Lindsay. It's still within the same day, whether you use present perfect continuous or present perfect tense, it means the same thing. So pick the easy one, the one where you don't have to have that past participle drunk.
Yeah, and I think this really is about the grammar just not being used. Another reason that native speakers maybe don't use it is because we reserve the word drunk for when you're inebriated, right? And maybe if you use it, you think people are gonna think you're saying you're drunk. I'm not sure exactly.
That's definitely a possibility, right?
Yeah.
If you say, I am drunk, that has a very different meaning than I haven't drunk a lot of water. So you might be worried someone just hears the word drunk and misunderstands. So for whatever reason, we have this negative connotation with it, and we avoid it a lot.
Yeah. But it's not the only one that we do this for, right? As we said. So what's another example of how we could use strategy 1 here?
Yeah, so that there are common mistakes when people aren't sure about the past participle. You might hear someone say, I've drank, I have drank. That's the mistake. It should be I have drunk, so we avoid it. Again, there are other verbs where the past participle is different from